Why aren't retirees spending down their assets in retirement? Kind of weird, isn't it? Yes, it is. So we're going to look at this. This is from actually BlackRock of all places. Couldn't believe it because, BlackRock. We're not fans of BlackRock here at Heritage Wealth Planning. You shouldn't be either, but be it as it may, this is still a good piece. So this is December 2023. BlackRock, they partnered with EBRI, Employee Benefits Research Institute. They said this is what they found. 20 years in retirement, most retirees have spent only 20% of their savings. What? What? Who does that? Do you all know who does that? What? You know what I'm talking about. Put the doobie-doo. Helps with the engagement. We got to get engagement here. We talked to retired participants to understand why and what it means for the next generation of retirees. So BlackRock Research, in conjunction with the EBRI, right here, Employee Benefits Research Institute, reported something unexpected. Was it really unexpected, BlackRock? Not really unexpected. I expected it. Retirees hardly touch their retirement savings. On average, across all wealth levels, most retirees still had 80% of their pre-retirement savings remaining after almost 2 decades of retirement. However, looking beneath the averages, some retirees did spend down assets to critically low levels. All right? While on the other hand, 1/3 grew their assets over the course of retirement. So here's the lowest wealth, medium wealth, and highest wealth. All right, so we got, let's say medium. Okay, not median, but medium. Retirees were segmented into 3 groups based on pre-retirement, non-housing, retirement assets. This is non-housing assets. This is financial assets. So we got 0 to 200,000. That's going to be the lowest wealth. 2 to 500,000. That's your medium wealth, and anything above 500,000 is your highest wealth. So here, the lowest, the medium, and the highest. Over 30% of these people actually had more than they started with. After 20 years of after 17 to 18 years of retirement. More. Isn't that crazy? Look at that. Over 1/3 had more than they started with almost 20 years after retirement. Here, another 15% of highest wealth, another about 12% of medium, and about 6% of lowest wealth had 80 to 100% of their pre-retirement savings still left. Look at that. So only right here, about 37% of the lowest wealth had less than 20% of their retirement savings left. Only 15% and 10% of the highest and medium wealth had that little. So, I mean, look at this, man. A third had more money left. We got right here, 15% medium right here. I mean, look at this. Again, we say most retirees have spent only 20% of their savings. Why is that? In order to better understand why, BlackRock engaged Greenwald and Associates to conduct 19 in-depth interviews and survey 1,500 people in February 2018 to seek deeper insights to why they're not spending. All right, why? Retirees prefer to keep their assets untouched. Only 1 in 4 feels they'll have to spend down principal at all to fund their desired lifestyle. How come we don't hear this stuff? We only hear about the negative. You hear that? Only 25% think they're going to have to spend down principal. For most, retirement is not a time to live it up. It's more of a time to feel financially secure. I tell you, I know that for a fact. This is, again, as I say all the time, the benefit of working with me or following my YouTube channel, and don't forget my Josh Scanlon YouTube channel. I just put old videos on there because I do so many videos every day. But anyway, the point being, I have experience working with people going back to 1998. The most retirees don't want to touch their principal. They just don't. I'm just telling you right now. I wish that were not the case, but they don't. So we can use a 4% rule all day long. But most people say, if I have $1 million, I'm getting 5% interest guaranteed. That's $50,000 a year plus $30,000 Social Security. That's gonna be just fine. That's if they have $1 million. If I have $500,000, I'm getting 5% a year. That's $25,000 of interest income without having to touch my principal. I get $30,000 from Social Security. That's $55,000 a year. I'm just fine. Most people are just like that. They don't want to touch their principal. They will when things go south if they have to, a new roof and all that, but they don't want to. That's just a fact. And they'll tighten up their budgets in order not to touch the principal. It's magic how they do that. It's crazy. Like, well, how do they do that? Because they recognize, look, I don't even know what the hell I spend my money on. It's crazy. When it comes to crunch time, when I have money coming in, I'm going to know what I'm spending my money on. Retirees more often plan to spend consistently as they get older, increasing with age. 43% plan to spend consistently throughout their retirement. However, 1 in 6 plan to spend more right after retirement when healthy, and an equal amount plan to purposely curtail spending early in retirement, fearful of higher healthcare costs. After several years of retirement, the desire to spend consistently increased to 61%. Now, consistently, does that mean adjusted for inflation? It doesn't say. We don't see that in the data. In the data, we don't see people spending adjusting with inflation. It could just be consistently, I'm going to spend $50,000 a year and not increase it. That could be, but we don't know. Either way, most people aren't spending more. They're not necessarily planning on spending more. You have 43% plan to spend the same amount. 1 in 6 plan to spend more right after retirement, and an equal amount plan to curtail it. So we just basically have a level spending threshold. Retirees retain their accumulation mindset. Very few plan to systematically spend down their assets. If assets do decrease, there's a clear desire to keep assets above a certain threshold, 100%. For many, saving and accumulation habits die hard, and spending is hampered by deep-seated fear that they may experience a critical financial or medical shock where they could outlive their money. Again, they want to keep growing their money. They don't want to spend it down. They don't want to. I'm just telling you right now. There's something ingrained in our minds here. They don't want to touch principal, and they'll reduce their consumption. What are you doing now? Oh boy, he keeps getting something running around. Come here. You want to say hi to the camera? No. All right. Retirees with a pension income less likely to spend now because they don't need to. Whatever. That just makes sense inherently. If you have a pension and Social Security, you're not likely to spend as much of your assets. Men and women approach finances in retirement differently. Men are more apt to consistently spend than women. Retired women report higher levels of financial worry and are more risk averse than retired men. For women, fears are well founded as they often live longer and typically enter retirement with lower assets. And there's a hell of a lot more widows than widowers. That's just a fact. Just look at any nursing home, any assisted living facility. There's not that many men relative to women. It's just a fact. So if you're a fella, you could be a player at one of these places. Recent retirees are less optimistic, always the case. Why? Because they don't know the future, so they're nervous. But once you get knee deep in retirement, I'm just telling you, man. The longer in retirement, the more optimistic you are because the days are behind you. Now you're like, I'm winding down. I'm winding down. Anyways, that's interesting, and a good job BlackRock for showing that because I was surprised to see that actually coming from BlackRock. Future retirees will need a greater percentage of overall income generated from retirement assets, meaning nest eggs will need to work harder for longer. It's not inherently a bad thing, but it will require more proactive and focused effort all around. And BlackRock's there to help us. Yeah, right. Anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. So we have evidence on top of evidence on top of evidence that the vast majority of retirees don't go broke. Healthcare costs, as I reported yesterday, don't bankrupt people. And people are making them. I couldn't believe it. I saw guys like, 48% of the people went bankrupt. Oh, no, it's not. No. I said, did you even watch my video? That's absolutely not true. You're missing it wrong. People just see a chart and they just, for some reason, they can't think through the chart. So they say, it said 23% of people in a nursing home went bankrupt, whatever it was. I said, no, you're missing it, dude. It's 23% of the specific people who went to a nursing home. So if you had 100 people went in a nursing home, 23 of those went bankrupt. But how many people went in the nursing home in the overall category? 15%. So if you have 1,000 people total, 150 went to a nursing home. Of that 150, 23% went bankrupt. That's not 48% of the population at large. That's 23% of that group right there. Only 2% went bankrupt who did not have any long-term care. 2%. That was it. Only 9% went bankrupt who needed long-term care. That's it. So that means 91% of the people who did not need long-term care did not go bankrupt. 98% of the people who did not need any help, long-term care, not long-term care, needed was it assisted living? I can't remember. Assisted living or something, I can't remember. Watch my video I did yesterday. But if you had 48% of the population did not go to a nursing home, so for 1,000 people, that means 480 did not go to a nursing home. Only 2% of that population went bankrupt, right? Then you had I forgot what the next one was. Needed some kind of long-term care. Of that group of people, we'll say 35%. Of that group of people, 9% went bankrupt, which meant you had 1,000 people, 350 needed some kind of long-term care, short-term, whatever it was. And of that 350, only 9% went bankrupt. And then other people, the last would be the people who went to a nursing home. Only 15% of the population did. And of that, only 23% of those people went bankrupt. They're not bankrupt. It's not bankrupt. It's not bankrupt. It says they had no more liquid assets. Just not very, this isn't enough to make you say, I can't retire. I mean, again, if you like your job, man, get crushed. I don't care. But if you're hating your jobs, making it fast, make your miserable, want to punch walls, you're freaking sitting in a commute an hour and a half each way, you're like, I just hate it. Yeah, it's just not good mentally. It's not good physically. It's just not good for you. And the evidence that you're going to be just fine is there, unless you got piles and piles of debt. If you have piles and piles of debt, you're going to have to deal with that, man. And you should have put yourself there. But probably one of the reasons you have piles and piles of debt is because you thought accumulating things would make you happy because your job is so miserable. You're like, if I just buy this new car, buy this new thing, it'll make me happy. And then you wake up, you're like, no, I'm still not. Hey, what are you doing, big? Come here, big boy. That big boy doesn't want to say hello. He's being camera shy. You being camera shy? Come here, big boy. Everyone wants to see the big boy. Come on up, buddy. Come on. Come here. Uppy. Oh, there he is. There's the big boy. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we love you too. You want to say, oh, look at that handsome face. Doesn't get much more handsome than that. All right. Love your thoughts. God bless. We'll see you. And Finney says, woof, woof.